We usually end up drawing circuits using what's called a circuit diagram for, I think, obvious reasons, because drawing the pictures all the time is annoying. If we had to keep drawing like a picture of a battery, a picture of a wire, a picture of junctions and capacitors, it's annoying, complicated, and requires art skills and isn't very useful. It puts us in a spatial frame, which isn't actually very important in circuitry. So instead we have standardized diagram elements like this element for a battery, wires are just straight lines, junctions are where straight lines meet, capacitors are two straight symbols, and so on. Resistor is this crinkly thing, and that comes down to the way you can make a resistor, of course, is just make the wire longer. So it's essentially saying, hey, a lot of wire crammed up in this tiny little space. That isn't what resistors generally are anymore, but that's where the symbol came from. It's supposed to be a light bulb with this incandescent filament. And this, I guess, would be incandescent bulb. Today with LEDs and so on, you'd have to have a different symbol. And a switch here, of course, because you can break the circuit or close the circuit by opening and closing the switch. So we're going to do things in terms of these symbols mostly, and not the pictures, which are really sort of training wheels, and we won't need for very long at all. All right, here, circle the letters of all the circuits that are equivalent. So let's look at circuit A. Circuit A says that we leave the battery and then we split into a path that goes through the capacitor or a path that goes through a resistor, and then they join back up in the battery. Circuit B says we leave the battery, we go through a path, we go to a junction that has a path through this capacitor or a path through the resistor and back at the battery. So those two at least are equivalent. Oops. Let's look at C. Here we leave the battery, hit a resistor, then hit a junction, and can either go through a capacitor or along something that has no element. This is a short and is bad anyway, but that's clearly not the same as A or B. And then here we can say we leave the battery. We leave the battery and we reach a junction where we can either go through the capacitor and back or the resistor and back. So that is also the same. So A, B, and D are all the same circuit. And it doesn't matter which one you draw or which one you use. You can move circuit elements around anywhere you want as long as you don't break the basic logic of this element. Basic circuit analysis revolves around two things called Kirchhoff's laws, one of which we've already run into called the junction rule, that the total current entering a junction equals the total current exiting it, which is basically a statement of charge conservation, that if we have current coming in this way, every coulomb of charge that enters here has to leave either this way or this way. There can't be any building up or depletion at this point, and so the total rate at which they leave has to equal the total rate at which they enter, and vice versa. And then Kirchhoff's loop rule, which says the potential difference around a closed loop circuit loop is always zero. And we really should say, let's underline, around a closed circuit loop, and really any closed circuit loop. Potential difference around any closed circuit loop is always zero. This is basically a statement of energy conservation. All right, this is like saying, if you think of voltage as your landscape, like your mountains and stuff, you climb and rise and climb, but as long as you get back to where you started, you have to be, well, where you started, back at your original height. So if we go across, well, this is a weird little thing, but if we start anywhere here, we get delta V1 plus delta V2 plus delta V3 plus delta V4. They have to be zero. So some of these have to raise your potential and some of them have to decrease your potential. We'll interpret delta V as delta V is V downstream minus V upstream, which, if you think about it, is exactly what we thought about with our usual definition of delta, which is later minus earlier, because, for instance, if we're traveling, as they say here, this way, then going this way, the battery increases the potential of the current. Going against it here, since the battery is trying to move current this way, if we're going this way, we must be decreasing our potential. In other words, the negative terminal must be at lower potential than higher terminal. Duh. And for a resistor, it's really very important. If we're coming from the positive terminal and going to the negative terminal, which is what this indicates, obviously, because that's where current's going to flow, then we get a potential decrease across the resistor. There's a drop. You'll often hear a voltage drop, and we'll talk about later. Well, I should say here. The current times the resistance is the potential drop, so it goes down by IR. Notice, of course, that Ohm's law only gives the magnitude of the voltage difference, but we apply the signs independently and explicitly. Let's analyze this circuit, which is a very, very simple circuit, a simple resistor circuit. In pictures, we have a battery, which is an EMF source, and it pumps current out through a resistor, sometimes called the load, and then back into the battery. In circuit diagrams, we put a battery and a resistor explicitly. We put the little EMF symbol to say that's the EMF on this battery, and we indicate plus or minus, although we should keep in mind that there is a convention that says that the longer line is always the positive terminal. So let's take our junction. Let's say if we start the negative terminal battery and go around, so we'll start here, and this will be our loop. Then we have that we gain EMF here, and then we lose voltage as we go through the resistor, which is I times R, and so the current must be the EMF over R. Why did I go clockwise? Because current leads from the positive terminal, but it doesn't really matter if we had gone the other way. If we had gone like this, then we would say that we go along here, we gain IR, because remember the current is not flowing that way. So we're going against, our loop is going against the current flow, so we gain IR, but then our loop is also going against the battery, so we lose the EMF, and together they have to add to 0, and we can see that we're in exactly the same place. So that means that in general, it doesn't really matter which way you pick. It's probably useful to always pick that going across the battery increases your potential, because that's what the battery's for. But it's up to you. Whatever makes your life easiest is the way to go. Here, find the voltage across the unspecified element and express it in volts. So I'm going to follow the same path as the current. So the loop that's been done there, it has voltage I, and we say that we come across here, we have, if we start here, we gain 12 volts from the battery, and then we gain some unknown voltage, I'll call it Vx, and I'm going to pretend we gain and see what comes out, and then we're going against our current chart, our current, we're going from high to low, so the way current wants to flow is this way, so we know that we drop 8 volts. And then here again, we're going from plus to minus, which is the way current wants to go, so we drop 6 volts. And we know that together those have to be equal to 0. So we have 0 equals 12 minus 8 minus 6 plus the voltage across X. This is minus 2 volts. Plus the voltage across X. So to be 0, the voltage across X has to be 2 volts positive. We could conceptualize that a little bit differently. We lose 14 volts going that way, so we must gain 14 volts going that way. So we know the 2 volt source on where the question mark is. All right, here we say find the current through the 3 ohm resistor. So I'm going to start at this end, and then I'm going to take this and say there's a current I, which is what we're looking for. And we can say that we get plus 9 volts for going up this way. We lose IR for going in the right direction along the resistor. And then we lose another 6 volts because we're going the wrong way through the battery. And then we get back to where we started, so the total has to be 0. So here we have 3 volts minus IR equals 0. So I equals 3 volts over 3 ohms, or 1 amp.